All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This will be the final match of tonight to decide who goes on to compete for the World Championship spot and who gets their dreams crushed here and now. Guys, it all comes down to this. This is the game that matters. Frostgrid, are you ready for Invictus Gaming and LGD? I don't know if they're ready.
I am so ready to see IG cement themselves or LGD come through as
If
the
they win
underdogs.
2 games in a day, that will be unprecedented. Wayless definitely deserving that huge MVP, going 16-1, 4 on Ari. I mean, what a fantastic showing from him. He made it look like he was playing Vygar. He just clicked something and blew it up.
596 gold per minute. That is insane.
Yep. That was just the way to play it. I mean, LGD, they've got to be happy they finally won a postseason game.
They have canceled the losing streak, but it's all on the line. This is the very last game. Again, whoever loses here, it's goodbye World's Dream.
Yep. And unlikely story, I think, for a lot of these teams. Maybe Invictus expected at the very beginning of the year to do a little bit better, but they've managed to eke their way into this position. Now, can they close this out? They look stronger in game number 1. They gave it up in game number 2. LGD, well, you don't know what to expect out of either of these guys. I think the 1-1, we probably should have known, to be honest. It wouldn't have been Invictus Gaming without a 1-1 happening in the night.
We should have known that if there was going to be a set that went to the third game, it would be Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes with these guys. They're consistently inconsistent with the way that they do things. See champion, kill champion. Well, guys, what do we go from here? Oh, we have a lead, we'll take it. If we don't, I mean, they tried. They did try the same thing, and it just didn't quite work out for them. This time, though, LGD goes in with some confidence. What do you think they focus pick ban-wise?
I feel like there was a lot of target to mid and top particularly, and I feel like both team, like the fact that the Zillion pick went through but Zatai wasn't very successful on it. Again, we've been saying this all night, the teams are getting what they want, and again, it's not just a tribute to the weak pick ban phase of the Chinese teams, but to the versatile and large champion pools of a lot of these players. It's hard to say where you go from here. I think LGD identified a play style that exposed Invictus Gaming's weaknesses, and I would like to see them continue forward with that playstyle and not necessarily those specific champions. Of course, Ari coming up huge for Wayless, that fits into his MO of a very big, versatile, roaming assassin player, but I mean, being patient in the early game, not spoon-feeding easy kills to IG, and just out-rotating them, being more mobile.
Yeah, that seems to be the key to success, and we'll see if LGD can replicate it this time. They've made it this far by the skin of their teeth, and if they do manage to take out Invictus Gaming here, they will have proved that they at least deserve consideration. Let's go with that. But it has been a long and bumpy road, and having the glimmer of hope, I think, is important to this team. They have been so long looking for a chance to prove themselves on a higher stage, and PYL in particular has been around for a really long time without getting this shot.
And let's just reflect back to this. This is the 4th place and 6th place LPL teams going at it right now. The fact that we are seeing some of the plays come out that we are in what is effectively the lower spectrum bracket of LPL.
Well, that's always when the craziness happens. I mean, you can talk about the same thing in LSPL. We've seen some of the crazier plays that just take place. And it's not necessarily a lack of finesse. You can argue that in some of the situations. I think that last game was definitely very sloppily played by Invictus Gaming. Nonetheless, yeah, at this level of play, these aren't the top teams. They're still vying for that world spot, and we'll see if they can keep on going for it.
Both of them are the underdogs. Again, if they win here, be it LGD or Invictus Gaming, they are still in the losers bracket. They would have to defeat whoever loses tomorrow's matches, OMG versus Starhorn Royal Club, and then win a game past that to, no, excuse me, they would just have to win the game tomorrow and then move on. 2 wins, you're in.
Yeah, you need to be able to get to those finals to be able to make it. Everything else is just seeding. But of course, it all comes down to this game. This is the one that matters, and we will see who does triumph going forward in it. Momentum's on LGD's side, but history's for IG. There is the man who makes things happen. It's PYL.
Who's it going to be on the other side? It is going to be Illusion.
Doesn't look too happy about that last game. I wouldn't be either.
Excuse me, I believe that's Youngsu actually, without his
He doesn't look
glasses
too
on.
happy either.
I couldn't tell without his Harry Potter glasses. It's the identifier.
That's the way. That's the way you know what Youngsu looks like.
He's always so cute.
Pretty iconic.
So
All
Ty,
right.
warming up, getting ready.
Yeah, these guys. It feel like they weren't taking it too seriously earlier on in the night. You could see a lot of smiles cracked all around. They were just kind of trying to do their best, all in all. And here we go. This is all on the line. Aurelia first ban out the gates. LGD not going to give Youngsu the chance.
So IG having purple side means that they get the counter pick this time around. See how they utilize that, if they're going to expend it in the top lane or expend it in the mid lane. Maybe get Zatai a favorable matchup against Wayless and shut down his performance so we don't see another 16-1 Ari.
I think we need to see that. Not the 16-1 Ari. The Zatai getting a favorable matchup. Because Youngsu has proven that he can go beyond what we knew as his champion pool. Even though there is an extensive number of top lane bans being focused out right here. All 4 of them arguable top laners.
That said, Youngsu could always just fall back to his Shyvana.
That's true.
Maokai now being taken away.
It has been consistent.
I feel like Zillion and Oriana and Ari will be contested.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. Ari, see who comes up with that one. I mean, if Wayless gets Ari again, if they first pick it, I think just having that momentum from the same champion, it kind of feels like you're still playing the same game in a sense. Ori is banned out now. So Invictus, well, what do they do from here?
Will they let the Fox through? They would have counter picks available to them in Zatai's champion pool should Wayless attempt to go Ari. That said, Wayless has never shied away from a counter pick matchup.
Yeah, he'll definitely take it to you, take the fight if he can. So, let's see. It's going to be the Jax ban. I think that's reasonable.
See what LGD does for their first pick here. Priority jungles and, ooh, wow. Again, probably going to put PYL on that support Zillion. Wayless could take it up in the mid, however.
It's a flex. It's totally, like, you don't have to worry about it at this point. It's such a smart, non-revealing strategy, and that was one of the most consistent parts of IG's team last time. About this does leave the counter pick available. There is a Thresh on the table for kitties, and, well, this set, Thresh has a 100% win rate.
And a great performance right there. Again, Lucian being hovered over. Anytime Lucian is really prioritized, it's very much about burning down those towers and taking those early objectives. See if maybe IG can find that this time around. Very quick games we've had from both these teams, though, in this set.
Oh, we haven't seen a Kha'Zix this set. I like that Chuan is getting out of his comfort zone. I think it's really showing his development as a player, and considering he's definitely the weakest link in the LGD chain, I'm wondering how much of this isn't PYL saying, no, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of the house. Go put some sunblock on. Have some fun.
See how successful he'll be on it, though. XQ hovering over for the Graves. He has played it in LPL.
I don't think he'll go for it, though. Oh, never mind. I'm completely wrong. Today I learned. XQ on Graves.
That does tell me, though, that they will look for the 2v2 matchup. Graves has a lot of kill potential. This is 4.14, so his damage was adjusted accordingly. Has a bit more punch behind him this time around.
Wow, they're just hovering all sorts of champions right now. I think the Pantheon for Illusion is going to be very real. It worked out very well for them.
You don't think that's about to be Ashe or Ashe mid?
Ashe, you're going to say Ashe support. I knew you were going to say that.
It was a reflex.
Yeah, it definitely is. Back to Shyvana. That's not even her final form. Let's see if they lock that one in. It looks like it.
I'm very surprised.
Oh, whoa, the Gragas. Hello.
Illusion back onto Pantheon. And of course, that Gragas pickup. Youngsu known for 2 champions, Gragas and Shyvana.
Yeah, you might as well swap it up when you get the chance. 50-50 where it goes. And again, it's a blind pickup. You're going to give 17 the KL matchup. I think it's altogether a little bit safer. And yeah, the 2v2 is probably going to be forced by LGD here.
The double intervention. That is, they are 1 Aatrox short.
Yeah, that would be absolutely crazy. So this is going to be a really, really protect the carry oriented composition. And it's just, speaking of Ori, it's too bad they can't lock that one in, because that would just be all the shields. It's going to be Leona, last second. So we see a Zillion mid again. Way less this time. Anything you can do.
The issue here for me for LGG's composition is the fact that they have a lot of, protect the AD carry aspect of their composition, but they don't have a hyper carry to protect. Yes, XQ has shown some power on Graves, some
Well,
versatility with it, but it's not that late game hyper carry that we saw when he hovered Tristana.
Oh, here we go. Zatai. Does he have a little bit of Messiah in his blood? Looks like it.
Looks like we're gonna pick a champion that requires extreme team coordination.
Okay, IG. Oh, and we're in lobby. That should be the same remake with the same picks anyways, unless that was one of those placeholders, but I doubt it somehow. I think those were reasonable compositions.
It's all about how Illusion and Zatai will utilize their ultimates together and make those early picks and get that early snowball for IG. That is so important. The issue is that if we take their performance from last game, they had trouble stacking correct ultimates and following through.
Yeah, going forward here, with the way they've set up these comps, it's very different styles of protect the carry, and I feel like it works better with Graves than Lucian because he's got a lot easier self-peel with his dash resets, whereas Graves is more about that upfront burst damage.
We'll also think about kind of the play style that we saw last game. It was these long, extended engagements that LGD, would just eventually come out on top on just because they had superior coordination and communication and prioritizing the correct targets and everything. Now you're doing the exact same thing, but you're competing with not only the chrono shift, but the intervention, the Graves tankiness, the Leona shields. You have all the, again, it's not about the certain champions that I wanted to see from LGD to take this win and make this a pass. It was the play style. I feel like this definitely fits to what they need to do.
Yeah, I think that it's going to play up to the way that they want to take the game, and this is really what it's all about in the pick ban. You want to pick a composition that can work with what strategy you're pursuing. LGD has always been that kind of team, but can they execute? It's a big question, and they are one game hot up. Can Invictus come back and swing the consistency factor back in their way? Historically, I don't understand it, but there's some mystical force that always makes them win a game and then lose a game, so maybe they can pull that one out this time.
I like to think of them as a boomerang. You just throw them, and then eventually they come back.
Yeah, but what if you, throw it and it comes back and then you dodge, and then it, keeps going? Does it come back again? Hit you in the back of the head?
If you're playing Gnar, it really messes up your cooldown.
Oh, it's a good thing there's no Gnar in this game. I'd be really confused.
We could have seen him play. There's no ban on him. I'm disappointed.
I know, it's crazy. We did see it hovered. Just a little bit of a tease.
Where's my AP Gnar mid? Zatai, where is it?
Oh, please, no. Please. Once I saw Renekton mid, I was like, alright, I'm done with this guy. I don't understand what he's doing.
I'm very concerned for Zatai and Illusion's ability to synergize their ultimates correctly, because I feel like not only was Illusion's ultimates by himself lackluster, but IG just total mess of sorts. Scrambling around the map.
They didn't have any coordination going forward in that. And it was like Zatai trying to herd a bunch of puppies.
And then you're trying to dive. What, you try to make a play happen top post level 6. You're trying to dive and kill the intervention Kale.
Okay, Jax can totally split push out. Oh, okay, so we are getting a remake, and this means that Ahri was picked up by way less. So this changes
the filler pick, Zilean?
I guess. I don't fully understand, but that is what they opted to do. So this game is very different right now. Way less 2 games in a row on the Fox, and oh, that's going to be scary.
Wow, I've never seen a flex pick like that, or I guess I should call it a proxy pick in professional play, especially since the Zilean was the first pick. It must have been...
Okay, so no, they are doing Zilean. It was the Leona.
Oh, okay.
So that is a Zilean support. This is a much better composition from LGD right now. It has a lot of options. There is the double protection, but who do they spend it on? It's either XQ or way less. They have so many options going forward. IG has to come up with an answer for this.
There was some sort of problem because he isn't locking in the Twisted Fate. Should see. I mean, the counter picks are available. You could pick. Ooh, Jace.
Jace
I
certainly
was
be
gonna
going.
say you could look for Zed.
That would be a nice last minute switch over to Zed, see if he can trust his outplay. But I think he's going to go for range beats it every time, and we do see a Jace lock in for Zatai.
He's got his inner ninja coming out.
Might need a little bit more than that to win this game.
Ninja got a pentakill, so maybe
Yeah, that's
Zatai
true.
will find the same.
One game. But are they in the playoff? Are they in Worlds contentions,
But
Frost?
where is World Elite?
Ugh, too soon.
Definitely. So the Jace versus Ari matchup, taking that exhaust. Should Ari try and attempt to all in?
It's not something that you hear all the time. Hey guys, how's that Jace versus Ari?
It makes sense that if he was going to take a defensive summoner spell, this is what a lot of Yasuos are doing as well, that he wouldn't take heal because he doesn't need the movement speed bonus due to the fact that he's playing with acceleration gate. So I like that aspect there. I'm curious to see if the exhaust will be enough for him to either find the kills or find the turnaround. Zatai is all about the outplay. You'll often see him playing very far forward in an effect to bait the jungler into a gank or try to outplay a 2v1 scenario. So see if that pays off.
Yeah, I think that's the game plan right now. IG, a lot more serious this time as they get ready to load up for what will be the final game of the night. LGD IG will not be going to Worlds. Absolutely, definitely. That's all we can say for sure after all said and done, guys. This is going to be the last one of the night. Man, it has been a long one, but here we go. And there is Zatai's Jace running as fast as he can. Can he catch me? We'll have to find out.
Transforming between hammer and what's it called? Gun? No.
Hammer and gun? No, it's hammer
so
and hammer
early
that
that I
things.
can't even.
It's a cannon.
There we go.
Let's go with cannon.
Hammer and cannon to get the movement speed bonus. There we go.
It's one of the coolest science fiction weapons, I think, in like modern history. Shock Blast, not going to connect on PYL. They will get a deep ward out. And this is the strength right now of IG. They have the early game on their side in every sense of the word. Every one of their champions has a great early game play.
Jace, particularly on that level 1, is devastating. The fact that you have a transformation champion, so he's not taking one ability into a fight, he's taking two. And then you have to account for not only the shock blast damage, but the passive on his turning into hammer form with the gap closer there on the Q is pretty devastating.
You know, the first time I heard that, for like a second I was like convinced when he goes hammer form, he like puts on like those big like silky pants and like starts dancing like it's the 80s.
No, you're awful. I think that's his dance though. Doesn't he do the...
No, it is. It is. That's deliberate. Riot are masters of pop culture references.
I can tell. It is far too early
hello.
for this discussion.
Invade. It's far too early for anything right now. Invictus Gaming
A lane swap.
trying to throw their weight around here, and I think this is smart. Just force LGD to play to you because you have a timer on how long your team comp will be effective.
A lane swap with the Lucian tells me that they want to fast push this and take the tower early. Especially against Graves Zillion.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Now, what do they try to do to force out early kills and fights? Because this is something that they have to do. Their composition is not going to work the later the game goes on. Level 6 for everybody will be like their biggest power spike, I feel like.
Are you referring to LGD? Or are you referring to Invictus Gaming?
Invictus, excuse me.
Their mid-game is relatively powerful, scarily so.
Alright, well that's fair. But it depends on how they get there, right? I mean, if they don't make a lot of plays early on, like you look at the way that Wayless has played this last game out. You look at how 17 is still going to be a monster in the later stages of the game. Kale is kind of overlooked as a hyper carry just because of her nerfs a while back. Doesn't mean she's any less scary, and they have so much protection for their carries.
See how it is played out. I think it's much more telling that LGD taking these safety nets is, again, recognizing that if we just don't feed Invictus Gaming early, we can just outmaneuver them and win with calls. I think is the idea here.
Should be.
That's the expected plan. I wouldn't imagine that LGD would go hyper aggressive, lest they knew that for certain that they were able to get something.
He's ignited. He does have an exhaust kicking Xuen back in, but not going to be enough to prevent that first blood. Bugman gets himself a kill.
And Zatai, again, playing to his stereotype. Being pushed forward, gets the 2v1 that he wants, and in fact, he had his flank sworded and just gets punished for it.
Yeah, oh wow, hook on to PYL. This might be quite a lot of damage. He has to actually flash away. Kid's going to follow double tap. Wow, it's not enough. And that was so close to evening right on up. Illusion taking a lot of damage from the Charm Orb, a Deception combination. LGD already coming out swinging, and they're playing this early game better than Invictus.
Well, PYL did lose his flash right there, so Kid didn't pick up the kill right there, but he does get the summon, and that is a very soft Zillion, especially now put back behind on experience. So see if Kid is able to punish that the second time around.
Yeah, XQ in this solo 1v1 against Yangsu right now is actually working out pretty well for him. He's only a little bit behind Kid in farm, and I feel like, I don't know, Graves pickup, it's going to be a little more useful later on, and well, I guess we'll have to go back to that in a minute, because Xuan's finding Zatai again. He is not getting a break this time, is he?
Graves is the definition of that kind of early to mid-game power spike. Very strong ultimate. I feel like Lucian has a bit more going for him as far as, you know, the ability to burn through towers to be that sieging potential.
Wave clear too.
Exactly, yeah. With the culling. Graves, though, does have, you know, great burst.
If they do get into a fight, it's going to be really, really scary. XQ has so much protection in this composition. I feel like LGD just outpicked Invictus.
Graves is also a very big comfort champion for XQ.
Mm-hmm. Even if he's not quite in meta. I mean, we have seen the fallback a number of times, and it has worked out, generally speaking, with the exception maybe being Illusion going to Fiddlesticks. I mean, Pantheon is arguably off meta, too. I mean, that's something that he's played not once but twice today, and he has had success on it.
We try not to think about the Fiddlesticks game.
No, we blocked that one out. Repressed memories. We've seen everything in the jungle this season. We've seen Jungle Braum. Come on, we can't talk.
Jungle Braum and its victory.
Yeah. Well, that was against Invictus Gaming too.
Speaking of repressed memories.
Yeah, these guys have had a tough going over a lot of things, but the fact that they're still in contention for it, I mean, they can go toe-to-toe with any team. They just can't follow it on up. And speaking of follow-up, 17 is low. He's level 4, no ult available. They will get him. Finally, Illusion, you can't dodge that spear. And Xuen and PYL have to back away. Bombs on the head of Illusion, though. And Kitty's, oh no! He thought he was safe, but just when you think you can go back in the water. Or in the bushes. Good night, Sweet Thresh.
A mechanical misstep, no need to step forward like that, especially with the bomb. I think he was looking forward perhaps with a reactionary lantern to maybe stop some of the burst damage from the Zillion Q. Unfortunately, wasn't needed, cost his life right there, so good 1 for 1.
2 kills on Xuen right now. Can we talk about like a most improved over the set? Because this guy has been honestly a monster compared to his former self. Like, he's the weakest link on the team historically, and he's been stepping up so massively on champions that we never see him play.
His individual play on the champion, yes, you are absolutely correct, has been leaps and bounds over where it has been. That said, if you think back to his previous split against Starhorn Royal Club, again, it was mostly positional errors of not being exactly where he needed to be. Free Barons given away, free Dragons given away, just because he made an untimely back or was across the map or didn't react fast enough. And
True,
that's really been
still not that great.
Exactly the weakness of Twin.
But the difference here is the amount of pressure that Invictus Gaming can put out is not anywhere, and LGD is not anywhere near the level of OMG or Starhorn, and that is what shows through the difference in caliber of these players and these teams. And this is why they're both competing in the losers bracket right now. They weren't able to keep up with that, and they were forced to both play reactive in their respective matchups. This is a much more even set, just because both these teams are on a very similar level of aggression.
Again, I feel like it just goes back to the fact that LGD is a reactionary-based team, so they're going to play to the level of their opponent or the caliber of their opponent. And playing with IG, you start to see this craziness unfold.
Yeah, well, any game with IG is always going to be a little bit off the rocker, and this game is no exception. Slight lead for LGD going forward on this one, but Invictus have been trying to answer as best they can. First tower of the game, going in that bot lane, and IG slowly getting pushed out of their own jungle. That was A little bit of a push-up by PYL. Looking for Dragon Control.
First tower down. LGD should have clear control of this. XQ did a
Yeah,
good job by
I
making
think
a
they can get
pressure
it.
point on the bot side, so they have full vision of Yongsu.
Now, Chuan is actually not juggling the aggro super effectively on this, but nonetheless, they will be able to take it down, and it's uncontested. Illusion way too late to even try and check that, and the ward coverage so well done. LGD definitely picking that one up, making it look relatively easy. Kid being left alone for the farm. He's really not done much for the team compared to XQ, though.
Well, LGD made a great rotation and kind of stalling out any sort of lane swap and finding a presence and pressure there.
Yeah, Kitty's now dangerous ward clearing game. He's got Illusion to back him up, but these guys, there's no Baron to fight over, but we will clear the wards. There we go. Zatai is... I'm kind of questioning this Jace pickup just a little bit right now because he hasn't really been able to do anything on it that we haven't seen him do on other champions. I'm hoping it comes through in the team fights, but way less. It was a scary Ahri last time, and he's played it out almost perfectly. No kills, but nonetheless, he's still able to poke out a Jace.
Well,
Never what you want to see.
Oh, Grand Skyfall going down in the top lane.
17. Gets his ult out nice and early, avoids a lot of damage, still takes half his health. And they will invest a lot of resources and get nothing but some damage and some minions.
Well, think about the Jace pickup this way. Last game, it was an issue that LGD just, stalled out the fights, were able to run around long enough that their team could make a collapse. Now you have a champion that has an acceleration gate. It's almost like what Zillion's going to do for his team and being able to make sure that his teammates can get to him and where he needs them to be, especially as that shot caller.
Chuan coming in now. Kitties, yeah, Bug sense is tingling. They're able to back off that one nice and easy. Still trying to go in. I don't know why Kid was even putting himself in range of Kale. It seems like these players are getting a little bit sloppy as the day goes on, too. They are playing, making these minor mechanical mistakes, and it's not being punished. It's hard when you go that late in the set. Meanwhile, way less. Trying to clear out that mid. Shock Blast is going to clear the wave. We might see the first collapse of the game here. Chuan finding Kitties out in the jungle. It's going to be a hookup and Illusion going forward. Charm splitting the upright. Chuan and Wayless, that's an exhaust. That's a huge shock blast. And Kitties with the flash forward. Not enough damage. Youngstu now on the teleport. They are committing to this chase. And the barrel will be enough to secure Chuan. Squash the bug. And everybody running away. Kid, though, he is low. Has to be careful. There is no Kale ult just yet. It's still on cooldown. Wow, the shock blast in the barrel. All the damage and flashing away from Youngsu. This is a 5-man under the tower. Kid tanking shots. Not what they're looking for. And they just don't have the damage. Kid's going to go down. That's the tower doing all the work, but Wayless will pick up the credit. Invictus Gaming. This is sloppy effort right here. They do manage to get 17. Wayless finally goes down. But at what cost? They spent so many resources that XQ is just casually pushing this bot lane away.
Invictus Gaming forces you to play their game. They force you to fight and to make these plays. Sloppy tower juggling of the aggro right there, but their composition really shining. This is a very poke-based comp. You saw the stacking and the synergy between the Gragas Q and the Shock Blast just deleting LGD from the map.
I have no idea why they stayed that long in the dive and then let Kid take the aggro. Now Yangsu's in trouble. Chuan should be able to chunk him out. One more leap will do it. And now XQ and Kid, we get that ADC duel. XQ's actually taking a lot more, but he gets the burst off. The ult, now going to connect here, and Skyfall coming in. XQ, it's not even going to be required as Kid manages to secure up the kill. 3-on-1 ain't fair, man.
Illusion's Grand Skyfall is much sharper this time around than the first set here. On point so far, 2 for 2.
I mean, yeah, he's been doing okay on it. He's 2-0 and 3 assists to show for it. So excellent kill participation numbers from the Invictus jungler. And LGD, despite the gold lead, have not taken the last couple favorable engages. And here we go, Zatai going with that acceleration gate up to try and find 17 out. He doesn't have intervention just yet. It will be up in a few more moments. Zatai on the chase. Can he find the shock blast? He does. And he chunks him right on out. 17 going down for the count.
LGD... Excuse me, Invictus Gaming's Zatai making use of his Jace mobility right there will sacrifice his mid-tier tower, unfortunately, because they don't have the wave clear in position.
You said this earlier in the set. This is exactly what IG will do 9 times out of 10. They will take a kill and give a tower, and seems like a poor trade, but then again, they are 1-1, so At least 50% of the time, it works every time.
This is this is very much more what IG wants out of this, though. They want this early aggression, these early kills, and this early power to try to snowball into something bigger. LGD need to reevaluate, utilize their comp, slow it down.
Still a gold deficit, though, for Invictus. And that a lot of that has to do with Dragon, towers. They don't have the objective control, and they're trying to get ahead just purely off of kills. Now, blue buff should go down. Zatai taking his time about that one, actually just waiting for a moment. Kind of surprising. I guess he had to wait for his cooldowns to come back up. But meanwhile, they're not establishing a lot of control anywhere else on the map. Yeah, they're warding a little bit, trying to like preempt a little bit of what LGD is doing, but it all seems very secondary to the fighting. Invictus Gaming, it's kind of like everything else is a chore. Oh, we can fight, but first we have to ward the map, and then we have to go back and buy. Ho-hum. I guess we're going to get back to a team fight. Oh, here we go, yeah! No, it's like, that's the thought process that I'm seeing unfold here.
They actually have a lot of pink wards in their inventory, actually, and with dragon spawning in 24 seconds, it tells me that they should start mosing. There's the ping down to this dragon and securing the vision and control around that with these pink wards and those sweepers. So a little bit more of forethought from IG coming here and turning their these early kills into vision gold.
We'll see if they can turn their fortunes in this one. Here is LGD to contest this. If they do take the fight, this will be the first in earnest fight over this dragon. But Invictus is backing off a little bit. Now Zatai, ooh, nice shock blast, baiting the ward kill out, and the pinks are being expended a little on the outside. Neither team really wants to take the full 5v5 just yet. And teleport would have to be expended by 17. It's not yet up for Youngsu, so he had to make a mad dash to the mid.
Power of that Gragas able to catch that wave. LGD tried to be a little bit sneaky, get an out position. They will get that top tower, though. 17 left alone there. Does have the teleport available. Youngsu's just about to come up.
XQ. Can't protect the carry when the shock blast going all the way out like that one. Chuan trying to make something happen to stop this dragon. It is already being chunked pretty low. Chuan, though, if they can get the right engagement, they might be able to just take it. Dragon slow. Can he get the smite seal off? Oh my goodness! It's not going to go to him. Finally taken out by Kid. It was a very early smite by actually Chuan, so Illusion not even using his up. That was way too close for comfort, though, and in the end, XQ gets some poke on his end, and Kid gets the dragon.
That said, LGD did trade the dragon for the top tier tower, so not a total wash. Again, still have that slight gold lead in their favor. See what they can do with it here. At this point, I feel like they need to group up and they need to utilize the strengths of their composition, namely the chrono shift in conjunction with the intervention.
Yeah, this is LGD's time to actually take reasonable team fights. They're still up at 1,000. Kitty's actually getting caught up by way less. Can he get the assassination? No. He's a little bit afraid of what lurks in that jungle. Its name is Gragas. Well, and also Jace.
Jace hitting exceptionally hard right now, and
oh yeah.
Think about the power spike that he doesn't have. He's doing the damage that he is with a brutalizer, a pickaxe, and a hex drinker. He has the tier, trying to stack that up, but once he is able to upgrade that into the full item, huge power spike.
No, I don't know how Zatai finds the time to play literally every champion in the game, because he really does look more or less good on every single one he plays. Like, his team may not always win, but he will perform whatever he locks in. Oh, Grand Skyfall, PYL, can he get out of that in time? Flashing forward, it's not enough. That's a lot of damage. Illusion finding PYL and XQ, but they don't have enough chunk to get rid of him. Nonetheless, they force him to burn Flash for the cost of an ultimate. Meanwhile, 2 pushing up in the top, it is Xuen and 17. I think Youngsu might be able to defend. There's a dash. There's a barrel ult. Xuen still trying to find the fight. Youngsu is low, burning his own Flash. Oh, that was a nice way to tank the tower. Immediate intervention. Xuen with the resets. They're able to get out just fine. LGD now trying to take IG's game to them. Shock Blast coming up huge. Acceleration Kate's out, but he's slowed. He's going to flash forward. Xuen is low. Can he get the damage out in time? Turns his attention on his 17. Now he's getting chunked out, and the Hex Drinker comes into play. I think he has a Hex Drinker. I saw a shield come up.
It is definitely the Hex Drinker right there.
For just a second. Wow, that came in handy.
The disengage from LGD, hopefully they'll be able to continue that going forward when this IG team attempts to chase them down with the acceleration gate, and that's really what it's been all game. I feel like Zatai backs, sees a champion on the map, and then immediately runs to try and murder them.
Yeah, it's a very simple thought process, and it works out reasonably well for them, but the issue right now is Chuen finding himself in an unfamiliar position, being 4-1, and having an immense amount of map pressure on his side. This may not be the Kazakhs of old, but this is definitely a scary bugman. And he has had some buffs. Not this patch. He will get them next. Despite all of that, Chuen is still making these plays on him.
See if he's able to keep up that aggression. Again, the fact that he is 4-1 means that all of the team's gold is in that jungle position right here. So now it's about, can Wayless, can PYL, can XQ perform without that kind of bank?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to. Oh, man. Barring any Shock Blast executes, PYL finds one in the face, and that is going to mess up your day just a little bit.
The item not even upgraded.
He doesn't need it.
The damage, the poke
the build
from this.
is always a treat to watch.
When Jace, Gragas, and Lucian are all poking you under a tower attempting a siege, it's going to be brutal.
Oh, yeah. I feel like we're going to see like a lot of poke kills this game, too. Not even like full follow-ups. The engagements have been really touch and go here. Now, Kitties, oh, get out of there. Chuen was on the hunt. There are 4 members of LGD. About to be 5, pushing up this mid lane. You have Yongsu up top. He's got teleport available if they want to make it a 5v5. Pressure definitely in favor of LGD. They just have the waves pushing in their favor, but if they get chunked out, that's dangerous right now. Chuen down to half health after a Culling Shock Blast combination. And they will get some more ward coverage in their own jungle. LGD have been doing a really good job of trying to maintain vision control. Nonetheless, they're still afraid to take these fights, and I can see why. Those Shock Blasts hurt.
IG needs to be a bit more conscious and careful with their minion waves, however, on the map, making sure that they're responding correctly to the right places and where they need to be, and not giving away free objectives or towers like we saw in their first set against OMG, giving away free inhibitors.
So free. Yeah, there's really no reason to be doing that, and it's just where your mindset is at and what you're focusing on. It's so easy to lose track of what it is when you want to tunnel on kills all the time. IG is making it work for them, though. They do have not a gold lead, but they are pushing in on turrets. And now they need to take some, though, soon, because they have all their outers gone. They have freedom to push on the mid, so it's kind of a weird mixed blessing. But they need to be able to force some pressure down here, because the Dragon is up in a minute. They're getting pushed on the top side, and they just aren't able to crack through that defense.
Do you see them perhaps looking towards the siege? Again, it's about grouping up together, utilize the composition, have the poke available.
I feel like they're not committing either way, and this is the problem. They're very indecisive about what they want to do right now. 30 seconds on the Dragon. They're ceding even more ground. They send Yongsu up to the top to deal with 17, and they're just stalling out until they find what they think is an acceptable engagement, and I don't know what that's going to be.
Their CC is very non-committal outside illusion. The fact that they have, the Gragas cask, the death sentence, they step forward.
I think they need to initiate on illusion, speaking of.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's always available, but what we should see from them is Zitai laying down the groundwork with the Shock Blast.
Oh, Kitties! He's gone, or is he? Yeah, he is. That's going to be the finish up. XQ teleporting in is Yongsu. Chuen making some action happen. Another charm lands. How good is Wayless's Ari? This is absolutely insane. Kid, last man standing. Yongsu didn't even teleport in. Excuse me for that mistake. And speaking of mistakes, that's Invictus Gaming committing one too many. A 4-for-none. LGD walking it out, smiles on their faces.
Wayless sees 1 inch and just goes crazy with the beautiful charm and catch on Kitties. Hit him on the very tip of that, and then the speed up and the pressure that PYL is able to exert with the Zillion pick. Fantastic matchup for him.
Mild mistake here, though. LGD doesn't take anything off of this. They thought about Baron for half a second. No, we can't do it. They should have gone for drag. They don't actually get anything more than the kills, and not even the outer tower.
It's because they understand the threat of a possible desperation Baron. So they're making sure that they're healed up and ready to go so they can contest the Dragon. They didn't want to, like, if they had stayed around and attempted to turn that into a tower, turn that into a Baron, it's too early in the game and they don't have the damage. They had just, think of how much gold that they just got in that one single set because it was almost a clean ace.
Yeah, and
they needed to go back and spin that power.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, here we go. Dragon being attempted by Invictus, and despite being the team down, they are the team forcing the plays right now. Ooh, that hook nearly catches onto Chuen, but They're able to zone him away. Dragon going down pretty quickly right now, and they got to get in if they want to make something happen. There's the leap, and it's not going to be smited away in time. It's going to be taken by Illusion, but the fight is on. Illusion chopped in the back of the pit. He can't get away from the rest of the team. Kitties is low. He gets chunked down. Wayless finds the execution, and they only take the one for now. Limping away is the rest of IG, except for Illusion, of course. Wow, that was a big shock blast. I don't think it's enough damage, though. Youngsu, Kid, Zatai, all are low. Juan coming in, cleanup duty, and that is going to be a big number of kills for the Bugman, and he finally is going to force Zatai back. He is just running as fast as he can. Good thing he's got that acceleration gate. XQ and Wayless on the hunt. They won't be happy until they get the ace. Kitty's already back up, though. Fights definitely going LGD's way.
And again, it's utilizing the composition correctly. A very nice chrono shift right there to make sure that Chuan was able to limp away. Great resets.
Yeah, that is just, for a team that is so centered on fighting, Invictus is doing this weird, we're gonna sneak objectives and then lose the fight. And I don't think it suits their style at all. They are staying relevant in this game, but they're ceding so much ground. And even though there haven't been any towers given up in those two near aces, it only is going to take one more before LGD really starts getting out of control.
Also, the team fight was pretty bizarre. They split up Chuan to try to find a pick on him, but, forgetting that Kha'Zix is the carry of the game. 6-1 and 6 right now, was able to 1v1 and then re-engage the team fight and find the reset. So LGD came up ahead, finding a lot of towers, seeing if maybe they can transition this into something bigger, possibly a Baron.
Yeah. Baron's going to be tough. These guys are having trouble finding a tower.
The poke composition, yeah.
Yeah.
Will be brutal. It
can
has to
you
be...
Maybe they should just have a gentleman's agreement, like just poke the Baron and whoever gets the last hit gets it. No smites. I don't think Baron would find those terms agreeable. Okay.
No, actually, now that I think you're right. I think it would be foolish to go for a Baron against a poke composition. I think it much more favors them to attempt to siege towers, not only because of Kale, but because of their the power that they have to tower dive, having the chrono shift, having the intervention.
That feel when you throw a lantern and no one takes it. Thresh is lonely.
I could feel the emotion in your voice there.
Well, as somebody who's played a lot of Thresh and had lanterns not clicked, I know that feel, bro. I know that feel.
We do have bings going down for LGD here as they do look up this mid tower again. More that I think about it, it would be very beneficial for them to have a large wave pushed onto a tower. They have a lot of potential to tower dive should the situation arise. We saw Wayless go, 2 hero previously and finding that pick on Kitties that transitioned to that huge swing of power for LGD.
I feel like the one thing that's keeping this siege at bay is Zatai's Shock Blast. And
the Shock
Blast is helping
and the Gragas clear.
But they've got a lot of wave clear. Point taken. But nonetheless, the thing that is doing consistent damage to champions out of everybody and non-committal consistent damage is that Shock Blast. It's connected on somebody every single time, and it's making LGD think twice about where they want to push. And this is IG stalling out. This is such a weird turnaround. Every one of these sets makes me wonder what these teams' true play styles is.
It's all about the versatility, but again, I would just love to see LGD just need to find another pick. They just need to go hard again. And
something's got to give.
Pressure's on for Wayless to pull something here.
Yeah, this is going to happen. Another Shock Blast will pepper the back line. Heavy artillery being brought out now for Invictus Gaming as they go on the offensive. But here is Chuan. Can they make something happen? LGD, if they get the pick in the assassination, they win the fight. That has been their winning formula this entire game. 27 minutes in, though, there is still no clear winner, and this is probably the most even set we've had tonight.
A lot of backs going down. Some key items coming up. Of course, we have I want to talk about a peppering of Hex Drinkers across the board.
Yeah, well, you need to defend that magic damage, man. That's that little shield goes a long way.
That's a 5-1 and 3 already.
And it's a pretty solid play by Wayless. It doesn't necessarily top what he did last game, but I mean that's pretty hard, man. He was approaching cool levels of carry.
He's got time still.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of time left in this game. 27 minutes is nothing. I mean, these are one of the longer. This is one of the longer games that we've seen. This is one of the longer sets we've seen, not just because it's 3 games, but because of the hesitation to fully commit and make a mistake. Remember, the team that loses here loses out on Worlds. Guaranteed. Nobody wants to be the guy that makes that mistake.
A lot on the line. We talked about how LGD is coming off a pretty sizable loss record, of course, with their first win of 9 games
I hope
last
that ward was worth it, PYL.
Half his health.
Ouch.
Likewise, Invictus Gaming didn't even qualify for playoffs this summer split. 6th place LPL team now competing in regional qualifiers simply because they placed second in the spring split that got them the invitation.
Man, they're protecting that pink ward with a vengeance. Yeah, in Invictus, it has been a while since we've seen them in this higher end competitive play. Finally, Chuan will be able to clear that one out. LGD, likewise, kind of getting to where no one really expected them. A massive shock blast, once again, forcing them back. And now IG might have just enough forward. This is, however, a 4v5, even if the health bars make it look somewhat favorable. They do have a teleport for Yangsu up. If they can maybe catch someone and go on forward. Dragon's up in 10 seconds. That will be the next target for these two teams. So far, it's gone in Invictus' favor. But if it gets stolen away, LGD could take the fight on this one.
Certainly setting up for it. It's all about laying the groundwork with these shock blasts.
They have the damage. Oh, here we go. Barrel zone. This is why they take Gragas on Yangsu, and they have to bail out. Oh, this is going to be a dragon taken by LGD, but this might just be the bait. It's going to go down. Smited away by Illusion. Chuan looking for the revenge right now. They find the Gragas, but the focus is not there. PYL going to get the kill out of that one, but they are so low. Chuan has the Zillion ult, goes in, suicide mission. He's still alive. They're not even targeting him out, and just an amazing pickup by LGD's Zatai. I think we've seen this somewhere before, Frostgrin. This might be one more shot. Can XQ get the execute? I don't know. Looks like Zatai's got too much fancy footwork for him. Nonetheless, they could turn right around to mid, but they're focusing for the kill. LGD's looking like Invictus right now. Oh, they're going for Baron.
They are indeed going for Baron. Beautiful play from Wayless again. You cannot let him have the Ari. You have to respect this pick. Came up huge right there. Not only did he find a beautiful charm, threading it between Invictus Gaming to find kids square in the face, he then goes Spirit Rush in, huge AoE damage, perfect Zhonya's, leads to the Baron.
Who baited who? LGD coming up with a 5-member Baron as PYL gotten back to base. They are able to clean up, clean house, have a 5k gold lead, and at this point, Invictus has to be scared of just about anything. They have to start forcing objectives and drawing the Baron members around without them being able to push on what they want.
Yes, but the issue remains that it's very hard to siege against this IG team due to the fact that they have so much wave clear.
Yeah, it's difficult for either team just because of the amount of wave clear, the amount of poke that there is available. But LGD can force fights. They've been doing it consistently. Now they have the Baron buff. It is clear who's going to win that 5v5. Yeah, Zatai might get out, but that doesn't mean much when the rest of your team is dust.
It's funny at their ability to find these fights and to find the winning side of it, because their only true hard engage is actually the Ari charm.
Yeah, and it's a single target, right? So you get that. Yeah, you can blow somebody up, but then what do you do from there? I mean, what they've really been relying on this game, I feel like, is Chuan. He's been the unsung hero. He gets his leaps, he gets his resets, and they put the Zillion ult on him, and Invictus just backs away like he's got the plague. So he's able to consistently be untouched by anything. Also, they have the clutch intervention, which they haven't actually had to use that much this game.
I definitely think you hit the nail on the head, not only the clutch intervention, but Chuan's performance in particular. 7, 1, and 8 on this Kha'Zix right now. We talked about how his champion pool really hadn't seen a lot of the purple bug, but coming up huge in this series and perhaps clinching LGD's shot at Worlds still.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a tough road ahead. If they do manage to pull this victory out, they still have to face off against the loser of Starhorn World Club and OMG, just to have the pleasure of maybe going up against somebody else for better seating. Wow, Wayless going in on forward. There's the man drop coming in. Can they take the fight? This Baron is still regenerating their health. Chuan might be caught out. Oh, he goes down. He's out of the fight. Yangsu is as well, though LGD is taking this one, and they definitely have the numbers advantage now. Wayless coming right back up after the Zillion ult, and once again Zatai eking out with his life. This is the story of the game all game long. Doesn't matter how many shock blasts you fire off. Your team cannot keep up, and LGD is knocking on the front door. They want Worlds, and they want it bad.
Such a small mechanical misstep from Yangsu right there. The Gragas barrel just slightly off time to affect Wayless right there, and huge damage again coming from this Ari. And can we also talk about the synergy of the Graves ultimate on top of that?
These towers are going down, Frost.
This is game.
This is game over. LGD is just about to knock Invictus Gaming out of the contention for Worlds. They do it. It's already over. LGD, smiles on their faces, doubling the number of victories they've had in this postseason. And oh my goodness, they have a chance. The dream is not dead.
And the underdogs come up strong against the dark horse of Invictus Gaming. They could not find the consistency, and LGD marched forward. That said, they still have to contend against the loser of Starhorn Royal Club OMG. Both teams they have a losing record against.
Yeah, that's going to be real rough, but for the time being, victory is sweet. Defeat for Invictus Gaming. They will not get a chance to go to Worlds. But they played with honor, they played with dignity. They just didn't get the wins they needed.
They played with inconsistency.
Yeah, well, when you play with fire, too, you're going to go down. Sometimes you're going to get burned. And that is GG well played. Invictus Gaming becomes the first team to officially not qualify for Worlds out of our pool of competitors. But of course, the action might be over for tonight, but it doesn't stop here. We will be bringing you another huge broadcast of the Season 4 China World Qualifiers in about, dare we say it's 12 hours from now? Is that all it is? Yep,
I don't know. I'm going to go...
That's about what we're doing. I think it's about time for us to hop off for the night. But guys, of course, tune in because you won't want to miss tomorrow. OMG taking on Starhorn Royal Club. The loser of that game will now face LGD. And then after that, it will be the final set. The winner's bracket versus the loser's bracket. Both teams will go to Worlds. And then the winner of that match facing off against Edward Gaming for seeding. And that will be all for the World Qualifiers. So tune in right here. Twitch TV, LPLEN. We will be back. And we will be back soon, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
明年再见，然后希望他们能够继续加油。那么老干爹获得了胜利，挺进到了明天的败者组，可以继续来往前打。有没有机会？老干爹能不能够从败者组爬回来，然后夺取 S4的中国区的名额？能不能？我们明天再见了。今天非常谢谢大家收看，还有所有现场跟屏幕前的观众朋友，我们把现场交还给主持人。
好的，那么今天也是非常感谢歌之战队能够给所有的召唤师们带来非常精彩的对决。
是的，那么今天的环节内容到现在呢也已经全部的结束了，感谢现场各位召唤师们的支持与鼓励，也期待明天更加精彩的对决。
是的，我知道此刻呢还有很多朋友。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This will be the final match of tonight to decide who goes on to compete for the World Championship spot and who gets their dreams crushed here and now. Guys, it all comes down to this. This is the game that matters. Frostgrid, are you ready for Invictus Gaming and LGD? I don't know if they're ready.
I am so ready to see IG cement themselves or LGD come through as the underdogs.
If they win 2 games in a day, that will be unprecedented. Wayless definitely deserving that huge MVP, going 16-1, 4 on Ari. I mean, what a fantastic showing from him. He made it look like he was playing Vygar. He just clicked something and blew it up.
596 gold per minute. That is insane.
Yep. That was just the way to play it. I mean, LGD, they've got to be happy they finally won a postseason game.
They have canceled the losing streak, but it's all on the line. This is the very last game. Again, whoever loses here, it's goodbye World's Dream.
Yep. And unlikely story, I think, for a lot of these teams. Maybe Invictus expected at the very beginning of the year to do a little bit better, but they've managed to eke their way into this position now. Can they close this out? They look stronger in game number 1. They gave it up in game number 2. LGD, well, you don't know what to expect out of either of these guys. I think the 1-1, we probably should have known, to be honest. It wouldn't have been Invictus Gaming without a 1-1 happening in the night.
We should have known that if there was going to be a set that went to the 3rd game, it would be Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes with these guys. They're consistently inconsistent with the way.
So Ty, warming up, getting ready.
Yeah, these guys, it feel like they weren't taking it too seriously earlier on in the night. You could see a lot of smiles cracked all around. They were just kind of trying to do their best all in all, and here we go. This is all on the line. Aurelia first ban out the gates. LGD not going to give Yangsu the chance.
So IG having purple side means that they get the counter pick this time around. See how they utilize that, if they're going to expend it in the top lane or expend it in the mid lane. Maybe get Zatai a favorable matchup against Wayless and shut down his performance so we don't see another 16-1 Ari.
I think we need to see that. Not the 16-1 Ari. The Zatai getting a favorable matchup, because Yangsu has proven that he can go beyond what we knew as his champion pool, even though there is an extensive number of top lane bans being focused out right here. All 4 of them arguable top laners.
That said, Yangsu could always just fall back to his Shyvana.
It's true.
Maokai now being taken away.
It has been consistent.
I feel like Zillion and Orianna and Ari will be contested.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair assessment. Ari, see who comes up with that one. I mean, if Wayless gets Ari again, if they first pick it, I think just having that momentum from the same champion, it kind of feels like you're still playing the same game in a sense. Ori is banned out now. So Invictus, well, what do they do from here?
Will they let the Fox through? They would have counter picks available to them in Zatai's champion pool should Wayless attempt to go Ari. That said, Wayless has never shied away from a counter pick matchup.
Yeah, he'll definitely take the fight if he can. So, let's see. It's going to be the Jax ban. I think that's reasonable.
See what LGD does for their first pick here. Priority jungles and, ooh, wow. Again, probably going to put PYL on that support Zillion. Wayless could take it up in the mid, however.
It's a flex. It's totally, like, you don't have to worry about it at this point. It's such a smart, non-revealing strategy, and that was one of the most consistent parts of IG's team last time. About this does leave the counter pick available. There is a Thresh on the table for kitties, and, well, this set, Thresh has a 100% win rate.
And a great performance right there. Again, Lucian being hovered over. Anytime Lucian is really prioritized, it's very much about burning down those towers and taking those early objectives. See if maybe IG can find that this time around. Very quick games we've had from both these teams, though, in this set.
Oh, we haven't seen a Kha'Zix this set. I like that Chuan is getting out of his comfort zone. I think it's really showing his development as a player, and considering he's definitely the weakest link in the LGD chain, I'm wondering how much of this isn't PYL saying, no, you need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of the house. Go put some sunblock on. Have some fun.
See how successful he'll be on it, though. XQ hovering over for the Graves. He has played it in LPL.
I don't think he'll go for it, though. Oh, never mind. I'm completely wrong. Today I learned. XQ on Graves.
That does tell me, though, that they will look for the 2v2 matchup. Graves has a lot of kill potential. This is 4.14, so his damage was adjusted accordingly. Has a bit more punch behind him this time around.
Wow, they're just hovering all sorts of champions that they do things. See champion, kill champion. Well, guys, what do we go from here? Oh, we have a lead. We'll take it. If we don't, I mean, they tried. They did try the same thing, and it just didn't quite work out for them. This time, though, LGD goes in with some confidence. What do you think they focus pick ban-wise?
I feel like there was a lot of target to mid and top, particularly. And I feel like both team, like the fact that the Zillion pick went through, but Zatai wasn't very successful on it. Again, we've been saying this all night. The teams are getting what they want. And again, it's not just a tribute to the weak pick ban phase of the Chinese teams, but to the versatile and large champion pools of a lot of these players. It's hard to say where you go from here. I think LGD identified a play style that exposed Invictus Gaming's weaknesses, and I would like to see them continue forward with that play style and not necessarily those specific champions. Of course, Ari coming up huge for Wayless. That fits into his MO of a very big, versatile, roaming assassin player, but I mean, being patient in the early game, not spoon-feeding easy kills to IG, and just out-rotating them, being more mobile.
Yeah, that seems to be the key to success, and we'll see if LGD can replicate it this time. They've made it this far by the skin of their teeth, and if they do manage to take out Invictus Gaming here, they will have proved that they at least deserve consideration. Let's go with that. But it has been a long and bumpy road, and having the glimmer of hope, I think, is important to this team. They have been so long looking for a chance to prove themselves on a higher stage, and PYL in particular has been around for a really long time without getting this shot.
And let's just reflect back to this. This is the 4th place and 6th place LPL teams going at it right now. The fact that we are seeing some of the plays come out that we are in, what is effectively the lower spectrum bracket of LPL.
Well, that's always when the craziness happens. I mean, you can talk about the same thing in LSPL. We've seen some of the crazier plays that just take place. And it's not necessarily a lack of finesse. You can argue that in some of the situations. I think that last game was definitely very sloppily played by Invictus Gaming. Nonetheless, yeah, at this level of play, these aren't the top teams. They're still vying for that world spot. And we'll see if they can keep on going for it.
Both of them are the underdogs. Again, if they win here, be it LGD or Invictus Gaming, they are still in the losers bracket. They would have to defeat whoever loses tomorrow's matches, OMG versus Starhorn Royal Club, and then win a game past that to, no, excuse me, they would just have to win the game tomorrow and then move on. 2 wins, you're in.
Yeah, you need to be able to get to those finals to be able to make it. Everything else is just seeding. But of course, it all comes down to this game. This is the one that matters, and we will see who does triumph going forward in it. Momentum's on LGD's side, but history's for IG. There is the man who makes things happen. It's PYL.
Who's it going to be on the other side? It is going to be Illusion.
Doesn't look too happy about that last game. I wouldn't be either.
Excuse me, I believe that's Youngsu, actually, without
He
his
doesn't
glasses
look too
on.
happy either.
I couldn't tell without his Harry Potter glasses. It's the identifier.
That's the way you know what Youngsu looks like.
He's always so cute.
Pretty iconic.